Chairman Simpson, Ranking Member Pingree, and members of the subcommittee, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Quintin Swanson. I serve as chairman of the Shoalwater Bay Indian Tribe, located on the Pacific coast of Washington State along Willapa Bay. I come before you not just as a tribal leader, but as someone who has lived my entire life in my community. I have seen firsthand what is at stake for our people. For Shoalwater, the threat isn't theoretical. It's immediate and it's ongoing. Our entire reservation sits in a tsunami zone. A single event would wipe out our homes, our government, our economy, the Shoalwater way of life. At the same time, we're losing between 100 to 130 feet of coastline each year, one of the worst eroding coastlines on the West Coast. Over time, we've already lost over 2 miles of land. Right now, we're relying on aging berms and embankments as our only line of defense. One of those berms is currently in critical condition, and the most concerning part is where that failure is happening. The most vulnerable section sits directly adjacent to Tokeland Road, which is the only road in and out of our community. It also runs right alongside residential homes. If that berm fails at that location, which the Army Corps says that it could, it would not mean just flooding. It would immediately cut off access to our entire community. That means no emergency services, in or out, no evacuation route, no way for our kids to get to school or for our elders to get access to critical medical care. Families living right next to that failure point would be put at immediate risk. This isn't a distant possibility. This is a known weak point, and it's getting worse. We are grateful for the previous investments by the Army Corps of Engineers to repair one embankment, but without urgent funding to reinforce and repair this remaining berm, we are one major storm or one bad season away from a serious failure that could isolate and endanger our tribe. This is why short-term investment in berm repair is just as critical as our long-term relocation efforts. Our long-term solution is clear. We must relocate our community to higher ground. We've already taken action. We've purchased almost 4,000 acres of upland property and began the early stages of development. But this isn't a small project. It requires building an entirely new community from the ground up, including roads, utilities, housing, a school, and essential services. We're doing everything we can with the resources available to us, but we're reaching our limits. At the same time, we're facing declining gaming revenue, which further reduces our ability to fund this effort ourselves. This is why federal partnership isn't just helpful, it's a necessity. One of the biggest challenges we face isn't just funding, but how that funding is delivered. Right now, federal programs operate in silos. We've received support from agencies like DOT and HUD, but those funds come with different timelines, different requirements, different restrictions, and no coordination. For example, we received housing funding before transportation funding, but without roads, we cannot build homes. So we're left waiting while costs rise and risks continue to grow. This is why the TERRA Act is so important. The TERRA Act would create a coordinated, interagency approach that allows tribes like ours to access and align federal resources efficiently. It reduces duplication, streamlines reporting, and most importantly, allows us to move at the pace that our situation demands. This isn't about new funding. It's about making existing funding actually work. We strongly urge this subcommittee to support and advance the TERRA Act. We thank Chairman Simpson and Representative Elsie for already supporting this legislation. In addition, we're asking for increased investment in tribal disaster resilience programs, and critically, funding for the Army Corps of Engineers to repair and reinforce the failing berm protecting our community, especially at the Tokeland Road corridor, where failure would have immediate and severe consequences. We also want to highlight an urgent economic issue, the Tokeland Marina. Sediment buildup has made the marina dangerously shallow. At low tide, vessels are stranded. This impacts our shellfish operations, which hold over 3 million oysters and are valued at over $1 million. It also affects commercial fishing, recreational use, and the broader regional community. Without immediate dredging, we risk losing a critical economic driver for our tribe and the surrounding community. At its core, this is about responsibility. The federal government has a trust obligation to protect tribal lands and tribal people. Right now, we're doing everything we can to protect our community, but we can't do it alone. We're not asking for a handout, we're asking for partnership. We're asking for coordination and tools to build a safe and sustainable future for our people. Shoalwater has always been resilient, and with your support, will continue to be. Thank you for your time, and I welcome you to visit our community and see this work firsthand. Thank you, Masi.
Thank you. Robert?